Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It's a beautiful Friday morning, March 19th, 2021. My pleasure to be here visiting with you. We get together with our distribution partners most Mondays through Fridays at this time, just a minute or so before 8 o'clock Central, to train, to support, to help overcome objections, frankly, to help you be successful. And what we want to be successful in doing is helping others. Let's look at our mission statement as we begin today's training. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization committed to narrowing the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, and facilitating the development of minority-owned small businesses. Just yesterday, we made a very significant announcement that impacts really all three of these aspects of our mission statement. We are better positioned to now teach some important elements of financial literacy. We're certainly much better positioned now to help individuals and small business owners improve their credit scores. And that improved financial literacy and improved credit, without a doubt, better helps them position to start and grow small businesses. So I'm here on the IIMFL website, iimfl.org. I'm on the Credit Boost page. And so we've made a few enhancements that I want to bring to your attention. And then we're going to talk about marketing, some demonstrated best practices of marketing. So the Credit Boost program, here on our website, we clarify this is not credit repair. This is not credit repair. We are not a credit repair organization. Many of you do credit repair, and that is great. We're not going to compete with you. We're not going to get in your way. Credit repair is valuable, and that's just not what we do. What we do though, is help clients improve their credit scores by adding positive credit and using legal strategies to remove derogatory items, specifically under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 605B. The YouTube video continues to be here, and we've expanded an explanation of how Credit Boost works. What I specifically want to bring your attention to, though, is we've added a new video right here. So if you're out talking to referral sources or prospective participants and they just need more information, there's an on-demand YouTube here that will give them the full story, if you will. Not to say that we're hiding anything in the overview, but this is a quick overview. And then here is about a 40-minute long conversation to help them really understand how this process works. So I wanted to start by bringing your attention to that. We launched the new 60-day credit sweep program just yesterday. We announced it on our training yesterday morning, and all of a sudden had an influx. I don't want to misrepresent this, but and we really haven't reached out to more than just a handful of clients, but as a Credit Boost clients who are great prospects. But we had, I believe, 23 enrollments within the first 12 hours. And that's really without any marketing. That's just word of mouth by many of you. And so it just shows there's a huge pent-up demand for people to have better credit through a system that's predictable, that's transparent, that's affordable, and that's guaranteed. So let's talk about a sample ad that Elon had put together. We tweaked it a little bit to make it more universal, but she's marketing it as 60-day credit sweep. And so you may want to use that title or not if you're posting on Craigslist or Facebook or what have you, but let's just kind of walk through the Elon model. 60-day credit sweep. And then she likes to start with a question. What would you do if you had great credit? Would it be to buy a home, a car, get financing to start or grow a business? And again, you could change this up, and especially if you have some targeted ways that you're marketing. Let's say you're posting in a Facebook group of a given category of individuals. You could tailor this to better meet specifically your target audience. This is kind of a shotgun because we know that in general, we know that most people have a motivating factor for better credit. They're wanting the utility of better credit, not just to be more proud of a higher credit score. And often it falls into buying a home, getting financing for a car, or for a business. So here are the bullets that Elon and I guess to some extent we've put together that are really the hot buttons that we would recommend you considering. So start with, it's a credible program offered by a 501c3 nonprofit. Clarify that it is not credit repair. And again, we want to be very transparent. I think when it comes to credit repair, there's lots, and we're not credit repair, but when it comes to better credit, we'll say that there's sometimes confusion of, well, what is it you're doing? And is it legal? Is it ethical? What am I paying you for? And I think what's really something that you and I can be proud about is we show them exactly, and I'll get to that more in a moment, what this is all about. We're not hiding the technique. We're not hiding the strategies. We're not hiding the legality of what we do. And I think that's refreshing because a lot of people are hesitant to jump into some credit improvement strategy that just is unclear to them. I mean, we give them a 130-page document to describe, here's how it works. And as I mentioned here, I mean, they can even learn from us and go do it themselves if that's what they want to do. But what you and I know is most people won't want to do it themselves. They won't have the time or the diligence. And as we talked about on the training yesterday, there's some nuances of working with legal professionals to follow the same process. And those nuances are addressed in this training that's here. It is a 60-day process. The contract that we sign with the client is 90 days, just to give us a little cushion, but it's certainly designed to be a 60-day process. We clarify that it can remove bankruptcies, inquiries, foreclosures, charge-offs, collections, child support, student loan defaults, etc., legally and quickly. So it's focused on non-open accounts. So let's say that you had an account with Sears and 4 months ago you were, yes, Stefan, we're talking about the same 605B program we talked about yesterday. So let's say that 4 months ago you had a late payment with Sears, but you still have that open account. This is not a strategy to address a late payment on an open account because it doesn't fit the criteria, just to be clear. So again, no surprises. And we, on our website, we reference the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 605B in the training, in the training here, the expanded training, we show them exactly where to get it. So very transparent. Guaranteed results, we're recognizing 96% effective. And so it'd be too good to be true to say, hey, sign up for this and every derogatory item is going to be off your credit report. I think you're setting the bar too high, but 96% is not bad. And then as we talked about on the training yesterday, which is linked, keep scrolling down too far, linked here, that while the price is $939, 100 of that goes to you as the referral source, and we'll talk more about money for you in a moment. The point is we have kind of a layaway model because some people don't have $939 yet, but they want to get started. They want to enroll. And so as we discussed yesterday, we have extraordinarily flexible payment plans. So if all they can afford is $100 a month and it's going to take them 9 to 10 months to pay the $939 off, that's fine. If they go on that $100 a month payment plan in month 2, life got difficult and they can't afford to pay the $100 a month too, no penalty, no default. They can just make payments as they want. It's like a layaway type of model. And then what Elon really suggests is drive them into you, have a phone call with them. People are suspect of things that they don't understand. And in some extent, we're pioneering in what we're doing. So it's new information, and you're probably going to have the best success if you speak with the prospect rather than just sending them off to the website. All right, now we do have a new website that is under development, and it is 60daycreditsweep.com and .org. That will be a good resource center. But right now, certainly the information is all here on the IIMFL website. Okay, so let's get down to the process, and then we're going to answer your questions. So what do? You need to create a lead, right? That's what you're paid to do. Whether you're just a credit literacy educator or a joint venture partner, you and or your team are involved with educating, creating awareness. You don't have to sell anything to anyone, but your role, what you're paid to do, is create the leads. So you wouldn't call us up and say, hey, Tom, can you send me 100 credit repair leads, and I'll pivot them from wanting credit repair over to 605B. No, you generate the leads. That's what you're paid to do. Otherwise, you're providing really no value in the system. And then what you're going to do is we're going to start them by bringing them into the Credit Boost program, just like you've always done. We've provided you all, I believe, landing pages that are personalized to you. Alternatively, there's an inquiry form at the bottom, and you can drop their information in here. In this case, you'll need to list that you're the referral source, or we won't know. If you're using the landing page that we provide to you, then you don't have to list referral source. It's hard-coded to you. And then we'll take it from there. So we'll get them contracted with Credit Boost. We'll take a look at their credit, and you'll see on the 3-step process here that the free credit analysis comes first, because not all individuals with credit challenges are a good fit for Section 605B. We're not saying that, but we'll help determine that. So you get them enrolled in Credit Boost, then we'll do the credit analysis, and if they are a good fit for 605B of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, then we can help them get enrolled and do so. All right, so that means we'll take it from there, and then you're paid 2 ways, but we're going to talk about a third as well. So once they have paid their document processing fee, which is the $9.39, and I think everyone yesterday just paid it up front. They either sent it in via MoneyGram or Zelle. I think all of them MoneyGrammed or Zelled it. So that's option 1. They pay that in, and you generate $100. If we're doing the layaway plan, then that's going to delay your income some. But most people will be anxious to get started. So if they can't afford it, they'll go ahead and pay it up front or quickly. And so that's revenue stream number 1 to you. And then revenue stream number 2 is, of course, as a credit literacy educator or as a joint venture partner, you receive money from the Credit Boost program. You get $5 per credit score increase if you're a joint venture partner, or $3 per point if you're a credit literacy educator. If you're an affiliate, this doesn't really apply to you. So I would encourage, if you're an affiliate and you want to promote Credit Boost and the 60-day sweep, you'd probably want to consider becoming a credit literacy educator or working with a joint venture partner that's already in place. Now, the third revenue stream, and then we'll open it up for question and answers, I think it's important to understand, comes back to the top point. People that want better credit typically want better credit for a reason. And I put car here, but really often it comes down to consumers are usually wanting to improve their housing situation, and entrepreneurs are usually wanting financing to start or grow a business. Well, I would argue that everyone should be an entrepreneur, even if it's just a side gig to diversify their income. And so with that being said, like we have a client, his name's Spence. He's vice president of a big national bank. And so he is going through our program, Access to Capital, to raise capital to start a side business. And so even people that are very successful recognize that diversifying income and having self-employment income is very valuable. So what's the point? The point is, once they've enrolled in Credit Boost, you certainly could then follow up with them, and you'll know because you've been paid the $100 from the processing fee. Then you could follow up with them and say, hey, Joe, I'm glad that you got enrolled in Credit Boost. I'm sure you'll be very pleased with that. I was curious if I ever mentioned to you about our grant subsidized access to capital program. Have you ever thought about starting or growing a small business? And then Joe most likely will say yes, but maybe he'll say no, but most likely he'll say yes. Maybe he has something already cooking or considering it. Well, Joe, you might really want to consider our access to capital program. There's no upfront cost. We guarantee at least $100,000 capital raise, and we can go ahead and get you enrolled in that. So as your credit improves, you're going to be ready, I would think, for a significant capital raise here very quickly. So that's the point of three revenue streams. Certainly, you're paid $100 from the document processing fee. You're paid off the credit score improvement through Credit Boost. But if you're any good at all as a business development professional, then you're going to be looking for what's called the midpoint next sale. So once they're enrolled, then you follow up with them. You give them positive reinforcement for the decision they've made, and you offer them the next step. And again, with access to capital, there's no upfront cost. So if you don't have at least 50% of your Credit Boost clients using this type of technique also enrolling in access to capital, you're probably doing something wrong, and we should talk about it. Furthermore, what many of you know is that if you bring them into access to capital, now you're in a great position to do an FNA, a financial needs analysis. Many of you, not all of you, but many of you are insurance professionals, right? There's nothing more valuable than having a warm introduction, a good reason to sit down with an individual and review their personal financial situation, looking at their assets and liabilities, their income, their expenses, what type of asset protection insurance do they currently have? And that's built into the access to capital program, isn't it? Week 2, you're actually working with them to develop their personal financial statement. It's like a gold mine. If you know any insurance agents, they're going to get it, because they're going to realize, wow, I can use this system and generate massive policy sales, because most people don't have the insurance coverage that they really need. And now you have a viable reason to be talking to them. And of course, the key person policy is kind of the ace in the hole. All right, so what I want to do then is open it up to your questions, comments, concerns, and see what I'm missing that you need to know. Let's see. Stefan asked, can this remove current maxed out positive trademarks until we get more funding? I don't understand, Stefan. I'm sorry. Maybe you can ask that again. And so, yes, we're talking about Credit Boost. And as we rolled out yesterday, the FCRA 605B, and that's talking about the same thing. Here, it's just talking about using different labeling for marketing. Thank you for that question. Question, are we going to update the Credit Boost flyer? And we've provided each of you a flyer, and there's a sample one here, but no updates are needed. Next question. How much does a credit literacy program pay if client pays $500 for Credit Boost? I don't know what that means. I guess what maybe you're asking is, how much are you paid from access to capital if they enroll in it? And access to capital, you make $1,250 up front off of their fully paid refundable deposit, and then you're making 3% of their capital raise. If that's your question, I might have not understood what you typed there. And then the question is, if I'm a credit literacy educator and the customer pays $500, so I'm not sure what they're paying $500, but I'm assuming what you're saying is they've had a 100-point increase, and so they've paid $500, and then you're getting $5 per point if you're a JV partner, or in your case, you're asking about an educator, it's $3 a point. A question on the upfront payment, right? So just as we disclosed yesterday, and just as very clearly disclosed right here on the website, everything we're doing transparent. So it's not like they don't know what the pricing model is. It's right here on the website. So the document processing fee, which we don't profit from, frankly, you do, you're getting paid $100 of that. And I guess that's the question you're asking, Barry, is so they're paying $939. Now, if they can't afford $939, we can do the layaway program, and that's what Elon referenced here, so they can start making payments in. And then once that $939 is paid, then of course you get paid the $100, and then we roll forward in implementing. So they're kind of laying away in kind of a payment plan. We actually get started once the payments are paid in full, but that allows them to get enrolled and get set up in the system at least. All right, and so Demetrius has a question on the third way of how we get paid. Yes, sir. So first way that you're paid is $100 out of the $939, which is over here. And then secondly, you're getting paid the $5 per point of credit score increase. And so you all are probably better at math than I am, but the bottom line is a 100-point increase would generate $500 to you. And then the third way, which was Demetrius's question, is by pivoting them into access to capital. Because as we said, most people want better credit because of the utility of credit. And if they're interested in getting financing to start or grow a business, then we can help them build their loan package and related preparation through the access to capital. So I'm just clarifying that you most likely will have over 50% of your Credit Boost clients, if you use this process, to also enroll in access to capital. So you've already generated the lead. Now you're able to solve another problem that they have, and you're able to more than double your income off that same prospect. So creating value for the client, of course, but it's a second sale, if you will, to the client. Not that you have to sell them anything. You're just going to submit them in either on your landing page or on the inquiry form and clicking this, and then we'll send them the DocuSign for access to capital. All right, so I think I answered Barry's question. If not, let me know. There's not a separate flyer. What we're talking about here is just because you're going to enroll them in Credit Boost. The Credit Boost flyer works just fine. And what we're using is Elon's example for a marketing ad that we edited just a bit, but there's not a different flyer for the 60-day sweep. The 60-day sweep is just marketing, branding of the document preparation service that we've been talking about, that's fully delineated on this training right here. Thank you, Robert. Okay, so Stefan says there's a flat rate for the Credit Boost is $500. Oh, okay, gotcha. So on Credit Boost, it's designed to have no upfront cost, but we've had a few clients, maybe I shouldn't say few, we've had some clients that, more than a few, but not a lot. So we had some clients that said they just wanted to pay up front rather than per point. And so then in those cases, they can pay a flat $500. I'm sorry, Stefan, that was my mistake. I wasn't realizing what you're asking. So clients can pay an upfront $500 for the Credit Boost program in lieu of, not in addition to, but in lieu of or instead of paying the $10 per point. And we split that 50-50 with you, Stefan. So you would collect the $500 from the client. You would receive, in other words, you collect, you receive, you get the $500 from the client. You submit in half to us, $250. And then instead of them paying a performance fee based upon the credit score improvement, they just have a flat rate. That wouldn't have any change to the cost of having the legal team develop their FCRA documentation. That's completely separate. Okay. Stefan, you are welcome. Sorry, I was thick-skulled there. I didn't follow. So Demetrius, we covered the 3 revenue streams. All right, so Kenny's got a question. So Kenny's asking about the $2,500 trade line. Well, there's many different trade lines, and the one that we use for individuals that are not credible for anything else, we kind of call it the safety net, right? 0% interest, Kenny, so no one can argue that. And that $2,500 is used to cover their refundable deposit for the Access to Capital program, which we were talking about down here. That allows us to build their loan package. And so essentially they're financing that deposit because their credibility with the 3 C's, credit, cash flow, collateral, at the current time hasn't allowed us to go to any traditional or third-party financing sources. So that $2,500, if it's for that use, it's like, Kenny, if you and I went to the BMW dealership, we said, we want to go buy a new 7 Series. We go in and we find one we like and we apply for credit. It's $140,000, right? It's a nice one. And so do we leave the lot with $140,000 and the new BMW? No. You're driving, I'm in the passenger seat, and we leave the dealership in the new BMW 7 Series. The $140,000 went to the dealership to pay for the car, and now you have payments to make to the lender to service that debt that paid for the car, because you didn't pay them $140,000. The lender funded it. Same here. So if the individual, if we can't help them find traditional sources of capital for their refundable deposit, so now we've pivoted away from Credit Boost, but that's fine. Then we've got safety net financing of the $2,500 at 0% interest. So then that is financing their loan package. But again, they're not going to drive off the lot, Kenny, with the new car and $140,000 in stacked $100 bills in their back seat, right? You don't get both. That would be a $280,000 transaction, not $140,000. Hopefully that example worked. Yeah, if you have flexibility, Stefan, in developing your ads and how you want to promote it, just make sure that it's legal and ethical and effective. But you certainly can mix up. You don't have to use the sample ad. Just some of you don't have such creativity. So often we get asked for sample ads. And so here's one that is slightly edited from Elon's model, but that works well. But yes, you can create your own ads. Because when we send agreements to the client, Stefan, we clarify, hey, this is the whole agreement. If it's not on this piece of paper, then we're not agreeing to it, because we don't know what they thought or what they've been told elsewhere. We can't be responsible for whatever's running through their head. All we can be responsible for is this is what we do. So we put what we do in writing and they sign it. And so that offers some flexibility. You don't want to do anything deceptive or misleading, but you certainly can create your own ads. You don't have to use Elon's ad, Stefan. Yes, on Monday, we're planning to talk about the $10,000 MasterCard. That's correct. Stefan says, thanks, you're welcome. Okay, so Kenny's asking about trade lines for Credit Boost clients. Well, typically people enroll, and let me scroll to the top. Typically people enroll in Credit Boost that are subprime. And that's not like a negative label. That's just a technical term. They don't have good credit for whatever reason. Life can happen. There's no judgments being made. But subprime people enroll in Credit Boost. It's very rare. It happens on occasion, which is bizarre, but it's really designed for subprime people to help move them from subprime to prime. That's the function of Credit Boost, is to strengthen their credit profile. So now they can go out and get normal financing. So with that being said, if someone is subprime, then we're going to have to use subprime trade lines to build their credit profile. Because just by definition, if they're subprime, they're not going to get prime. So there's different types of subprime trade lines. I feel like Kenny is asking again about the $2,500, 0%, the safety net, and that is funding for the loan package. So we can develop a loan package for them to help them be able to go out and access capital under their business. So hopefully that's clear. Now, that's not the only type of trade line that's available. All right, so we got a question of other types of subprime trade lines. There are many different types of subprime trade lines. Most subprime trade lines are going to be what we're going to call store accounts. So that means you have to buy something from the issuer of credit. It's not broad umbrella credit. So let's compare. So Stefan, if you and I went down to Rent-A-Center today, we want a new big screen TV for our condo that we share together. So we're going to get a 72-inch big screen TV. It's fairly easy to get financing at Rent-A-Center or any of those type of rent-to-own places because they're selling you the product, they're issuing you the credit. So store type credit, same if you go into Macy's. Getting a Macy's card is easier than getting a Visa or a normal American Express that could be used anywhere because there's a financial interest tied between what you're buying or what you're using the credit for and the issuer of credit. So subprime credit's typically going to be store type credit. Now you might say, well, that's not what people want. Well, probably not, but we're trying to move them from subprime to prime, right? And so the type of credit you can get when you're subprime is most often store account. So that's not how we're not changing the terms of where we're trying to get with access to capital of getting them $100,000 of in-house financing from a mattress store. You know, no one wants that. But instead, what we're doing is building their credit profile so they're credible enough to be able to get prime type credit. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, we can do gas cards. I have one right here that's called, it's a WEX card, W-E-X. I think I have a $7,000 credit limit. It's under my EIN. And so, yeah, so we can certainly get gas cards under the Social Security number or under the EIN. And Lowe's and Home Depot and all that. But we're getting a little bit distracted. But yes, so there's different types of trade lines. All right, and we're about to wrap this up. Demetrius asked, do we have permission to use the with a capital T? Do we have permission to use the phrase access to capital when it comes to promoting on social media? Yes, we would prefer, if you're doing any marketing, if you can submit to us the ads that you are going to create. If it's not something that we've presented to you like this, if you can email it to us so we can review it and just ensure that it's not misleading, it's not deceptive, and so forth. And again, our email address is here. So our preference is, if you're going to develop your own ad or flyers or websites, that's fine. Just go ahead before you start to use it, submit it into us so we can review it. And we'll prioritize that and get a response back quickly, because we want to be ethical and we want to be transparent. We obviously need to be legal and moral. So we need to explain to people what we do properly. Now, it's okay to use some marketing phrases, but yes, so Demetrius, I appreciate you asking. Please email in if you're creating your own content so we can review it and approve it. Okay, so let's summarize, and then if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up. So yesterday, on Thursday, March 18th, 2021, we made a significant announcement, and it was the launch of the 605B document preparation offering. And that is a very effective way, a legal way. It's endorsed by the FTC to remove certain derogatory information quickly. Technically, they have to remove it within 4 days, but we call it a 60-day process. And so we've added some new content to address that on the Credit Boost site. We have also added a very robust training video that's here for the world to see. There's no secrets. Clients are going to know how the referral sources are paid. We feel like that's the right thing. So they'll know if you refer them in that you're going to make $100, but that's okay. I mean, that's the way business development works. If you go buy insurance from State Farm, the State Farm agent is making a commission. If you go apply and set up a retirement account with Edward Jones, to no surprise, the Edward Jones rep gets paid off of that. That's the way the world works. If they don't realize that, they're probably a little bit naive. So in wrapping up, Credit Boost is stronger than ever. In addition to adding positive trade lines, now we can help them legally and quickly remove derogatory items using the 605B provision of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. We've added new content here. We've added a new training video here for the world to see, yourself as well as clients or prospects or referral sources. There's no secrets. And then we've had our training today giving you an example of an ad initiated by Elon, but refined by us, that you might want to use to drive in prospects. You're paid 3 ways from this. You get paid $100 from the document processing fee. You get $5 a point of the credit score increase. On average, it'll be 100 or more points, so that's another 500. And if you're any good at all, then what you're going to do is pivot these individuals, secondly, into access to capital, because with that better credit, they're going to be in a great position to go get a business loan under their EIN, and that generates greater value for them and income for you. Okay, so I'll wrap it up with the remaining questions and we'll close it down for the day. So Robert asked, will the $10,000 MasterCard be part of the Credit Boost? No, the $10,000 MasterCard is under the EIN. It doesn't have a personal guarantee. So Credit Boost is based around personal credit. The $10,000 MasterCard doesn't have anything to do with Credit Boost. And then Stefan is clarifying that the document processing fee, which is identified here for the legal team, is very reasonable. And it is, but it's okay if a client doesn't want to pay for it. And I even recommend a bit of a contrarian strategy. Let them know what we're doing and how it works, and that we're following FCRA guidelines, and the FTC has put together a whole manual. And in fact, just to share with you, I might not have mentioned this to you, when we send them the DocuSign to give us the information we need for the document processing, we send them that FTC packet, that 110, 130 page, whatever it was, packet. So they know this is legal, this is ethical, and they can understand the process to a great extent. So if people want to do it themselves, great. And that's why we make reference. So I think you can take pride in the fact that you're educating people. We're helping improve their financial literacy. And then through that increased knowledge, they can improve their credit scores. They can do it themselves, or the legal team can develop the documents for them, whichever the client prefers. And by having improved credit and improved knowledge, we can certainly facilitate the development and growth of more small businesses, because now they're better positioned to access capital. So it's very much a full circle. All right, thanks everyone. Let's go out there and let's try this ad. Go ahead and drop this ad on Facebook or LinkedIn or Craigslist. Maybe do that today or tomorrow on Saturday, and then on Monday we'll get some feedback of how many hits you had. Thanks everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.